Welcome, everybody, to Bearcat Insider. This is going to be the Ponder Scouting Report. I'm Chance Kirby. I'm with everybody's favorite assistant, Coach Marsh, and we're going to dive into what Ponder does, what they don't do, and what we can expect on Friday. So, how you doing first? Let's start with that.
Well, I'm doing well. We've had a pretty good week of practice, all things considered, and we needed it. And the kids have responded exactly through practice how we've wanted them to. We wanted to address some things as a coaching staff practice-wise that Coach David wanted us to take care of as far as kind of culture-related things. And the kids have responded really, really well. And it's just getting back to the little things and doing the little things right. It's helped. You don't know how kids are going to bounce back from what happened. When you're a double-digit favorite and then you lose by double digits, you never know how kids are going to bounce back. And our kids have bounced back about as well as can be expected. So I'm really just excited to get to Friday and hopefully we'll take care of business. We expect to take care of business and go from there.
I always joke on 10 with Todd that I'm the voice of the people for this show, and to give you feedback on, I know your head's buried into playbooks and scouting reports. The community's kind of slowed down a little bit on talking about the game too, which is good. A Trump parade and a Cowboy loss always kind of moves us down the line. So
yeah,
everybody's focused on the next thing.
Yeah, well, that's that's the way the world kind of works. Is when things are on the front burner, it's a hot button issue, and the world is ending, and then a couple days go by, other things start happening, and you go from there. I'm glad the community works like that, and I'm glad the world works like that, because this coaching staff doesn't. We have a sour taste in our mouth.
Yeah,
we do. And you were up at the field house today, waiting on me to finish doing what we were doing, and I wouldn't say it's a tense environment still, but we're chomping at the bit, ready to go. Get this taste out of our mouth, and go put our best foot forward and go from there.
I saw when I got there that some of the parents had prepared hamburgers and were serving the kids. Is that something that's common? And is that
it usually it happens once or twice a year. I know today there's a big group of parents that were out there, and we sure appreciate them. And I'm not going to name them all off because I'd forget somebody. But I'm going to try anyway because I enjoy the challenge. Kobe Chandler was out there. Ethan and Larry Stuckley were out there. Cody and Curtis and Miss Peacock were out there. Amanda Jackson was out there. Rayanne and Alan Stripmatter were out there. I think that's everyone. If I forgot somebody, I sure do apologize.
I know you always give you a hard time because you've said it, and I won't let you forget it, that you've coached at all A's. I want to believe that is unique to Pilot Point. That may not be the case. I might be living in a fantasy land, but things like that just seems very Pilot Point to me.
Yes, and that's something that I've taken with me to places. The last day of 2 days, every year I've coached and everywhere I've been, my mom always brings popsicles for the kids. And so that, though, is taking something from that is a very Pilot Point and taking it to other places. And she'll get watermelons and bring them out during 2 days. And she tries to embarrass me by bringing me birthday cake for all the kids to eat, and it never embarrasses me because I like cake. But no, that is the community coming out and doing that. That's pretty special, and it's pretty awesome. In a time where, gosh, you might make the case that we don't really deserve it. Why now? Why after we what happens last Friday? Well, why now? But that's just it's a great reminder that even though times are tough and people, I say times are tough and we're 5-2. People might be a little down on us right now. We know that they're behind the kids for sure. You can say what you want about the coaches. We're professionals, and that's, you got a target on your front of your shirt and the back of your shirt, and that's okay. But they love the kids. The community loves their kids, and that speaks volumes for Pilot Point as a community. And I'm biased, but I feel like we have the best kids in the state of Texas. And they do a great job. They work hard. They get after it, and they do what's asked of them more times than not.
Well, what can we give us a general overview of Ponder, what we're going into?
Well, we'll start with all the formalities. All right, Mike Bowling's going to be their head coach. This is his second year as the head coach. They are an improved football team, and that's a common thread that you're going to find amongst all these teams we're talking about. Is they're 3-4, they're 1-3 in district, and they are a good football team. They have some good players. We'll get into it a little bit later on whenever we get on each side of the ball, but they're good-looking kids. They're not the Ponder that we think about traditionally is not a great football team. This is not a traditional Ponder football team.
It's my assumption that most people are, when they think of Ponder, thinking of last year, 71-0 Ponder.
If it were to happen to be 71-0 this year, I would be completely shocked. And we'll get to it when we get to their offense and defense, but they've done some things that kind of help limit that 71-0. And so they're a good football team. They're 3-4 on the year. They have wins over Valley View, Nocona, and Peaster. Losses are to City View, Hillsboro, Boyd, and Brock. 1-3 in district. Just to look at a common opponent, for instance, Peaster, they won 26-20. Peaster was a good football team. I was impressed with Peaster being a first-year UIL program. They played good Peaster team and won 26-20. And then one of their losses that kind of sticks out to me is the Boyd Yellow Jackets. They lost 14-0. And Boyd's a good football team. Boyd's a very good football team. So there's glimpses of greatness whenever you look at them, and then you look at their wins and their losses, and Valley View and Nocona are having down years for what those programs are used to, and they kind of squeaked out a single-digit victory over Valley View, and then Nocona they beat pretty handily. So it's a good football team. It's a quality opponent. Is it Boyd or is it Brock? They're not on that level yet. Are they improved from what they have been in the past, and do they have a competitive chance? Absolutely, they do. I hope it's not a great game on Friday night for our sake. I wish we would just go out there and score on every possession and get a stop on every possession and score bundles and bundles and bundles of points. They're a good football team. I don't think that is what is going to happen. I wish it would, and I hope it does. But the realist in me says that we're going to have to play physical. We're going to have to play well. And if we do those things and we take care of business, there is a good chance that we get a win. If we don't, they will take advantage of it. So let's get a quick word from our sponsors. Let's come back and let's talk a little Ponder offense.
Bearcat fans, one thing that I love about walking into the field house is looking at all the old pictures that you have from years past and being able to relive the history of those great teams and great players. And I love walking through with my sons and showing them a picture and saying, man, look at that guy, and telling them a story about a great play. And you can have the same opportunity to do that with your family by using Ashley Marsh Photography to capture your family's great memories. Seeing those pictures of your family will allow you to talk to your kids or your grandkids and tell great stories about things that you've done or things that you've seen or just funny memories that you might have. So if you ever want to document your family's history, please contact Ashley Marsh Photography. You can find her on Facebook, on Instagram using Ashley Marsh Photography, as well as her website, ashleymarshphotography.com.
Located in Pilot Point, Texas, the Chandler family has been making custom cabinets for over 40 years. As a team, Chandler Cabinets is committed to designing and building the perfect cabinets for you. They will make the process comfortable and stress-free by personally guaranteeing a superior product built on the standard of superior craftsmanship and immaculate customer satisfaction. From concept to completion, perfect form and function. Chandler Cabinets is an award-winning company with a reputation for consistent innovation at the highest level of design. You can find more information on Chandler Cabinets at chandlercabinets.net or on their Facebook page, Chandler Cabinets. Chandler Cabinets, 40 years of excellence.
And again, thank you to our sponsors for making this show possible. We sure appreciate it. We're going to talk about what's going to happen whenever Ponder has the football. Okay. When Ponder has the ball, you're going to see something that is kind of unusual these days. It is going to be like watching Roger Staubach at Navy and they are going to run the option out of the full house. It'll be triple option. It'll be load option. They'll run power sweeps. They'll get in pistol with double slots, similar to how Whitesboro lined up, and they'll run the option that way. But they are going to find ways to run option as many ways as they can. And it'll be triple option, where you will have a legitimate dive back. The quarterback will read that, and he'll either pull it or give it, and then you'll have a pitch man going over the top. Just like I said, traditional triple option, old school football that if I was playing you in NCAA football on the Xbox, that's what I would expect you to run right back at me.
That is absolutely what I would run, because that is my favorite offense. So
Yeah.
I loved when Georgia Tech did it for a little while.
And they've gotten completely away from it.
Yeah.
But we digress. Okay, so that's what you're going to see. And what you have is you got to have a three-headed monster. Their fullback, he's a good runner. He's a good enough runner to keep you honest on the dive. But their quarterback and their running back are the two that kind of make it tick. And the quarterback's going to be number 11, Chase Taylor, and number 10, Terence Clark. They're both seniors. I do believe both of them are 3-year starters at those positions. And, they have experience. Now, number 10 is the one that's going to immediately stick out at you. It's Terence Clark again. He's a good-looking kid. He's well put together. He's physical. He can hit a home run anywhere on the field. And, their first play of the game against Brock, they line up in full house, and they're overloaded to the right, and they run dive back to the left. They hand it to number 10, Terence Clark, and he has a 65-yard gain the first play of the game against the Brock Eagles. So he is dangerous, and that's somebody that we're going to have our eyes on, and we're going to do our best to try to limit his production. They will throw the ball. They're not an effective throwing. Well, let me say, they're not a.
They throw like an option team.
That's probably the best way to say it. They throw like an option team, which means that you're going to put the ball in the air probably 5 times a game on average, and they're looking to complete 3 of them, and probably all 3 of them are going to be touchdowns because they lull you to sleep. I hate to beat a dead horse, but just like we saw at Whitesboro, they run the same play. The next thing you know, guys are running down the field behind you, and you're saying, "Oh crap." That's going to be their passing attack for the most part. And their quarterback is not a fantastic thrower, but he's good enough to get the job done. And once again, going back to experience, he's been there, he's done that. He is an experienced quarterback, and so you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. And so, it's assignment football. And you look at the defensive.
It's been a common theme for a few weeks.
It has been, and it'll continue to be. You can carbon copy what we're saying right now, and then you can post it to the next weeks, and we'll change some names, and it's going to be the same scouting report. But
listen anyway.
Yeah, please do. Those other names are really important. It's assignment football. The defensive game plan last week was fantastic. About 160 total yards for the whole game. That you take 2 big plays out of it, and they're under 100 yards for the whole game. But the problem is you can't take those 2 big plays out of it, because that's what these teams thrive on, is assignment football. They're going to make you do your job with monotonous regularity until it gets monotonous, then you forget to do your job, and then the next thing you know, it's 88 and out the gate, and who knows, might be a score, we might run them down, I don't know. But it is so important for our kids to remain focused. And all we can practice, you've heard, do your job. Do your job. What's your job? You're supposed to have him. What's your job? I have him. Do your job. Stop trying to do somebody else's job. Do your job. If you have quarterback, take quarterback. If you have pitchman, take pitchman. And then, you just preach those things all week long, all practice long, and you hope that Friday night when the lights come on, that they don't forget everything you told them in practice, and they don't start running around like a chicken with their head cut off. They keep playing assignment football. And then the other part of it is we have to be physical when they have the football. If your assignment's the quarterback, you have to be physical with the quarterback. If you have the dive, be physical against the dive. If you have the pitchman, be physical against the pitchman, because the monotonous regularity of us hitting them is just as effective as what they do to us. They get tired of it. And you want to make that guy think about it, that if he's the pitchman and that ball's in the air, you want to be in his head, and you want him thinking, man, is that guy about to come cream me, or is that, you want those thoughts to be in his head. You want them to not trust what they are supposed to be doing because we're so physical with them. And so
has the offense, it sounds like what they run essentially hasn't changed in 80 years. I think the option was Darrell Roll, maybe not, but he was one of them.
That's wishbone stuff,
Yeah. So do the defensive concepts to stop it, have those pretty much stayed the same all that time?
Well, yes and no. The 4-3 came about to stop option football, and then the 3-4 came about to stop a different version of this and that. And then now that spread offensive has kind of become prolific, you have nickel and you have dime and you have all these other personnel packages of moving your chess pieces, into different places. What's happened with option now is there's so few teams that believe in it and run it that it's viewed as a gimmick, but really it's the beginning. It's the origin. It goes back to way, way, way back. And even if you look at some of the spread stuff that people are doing, inside and outside veer has been option football forever. The U of H under Bill Yeoman, they did a lot of inside-outside veer stuff. And then as time has gone on, they've taken those same concepts and applied them to spread-type formations to where you're inverting the reads and it's more of a horizontal stretch than it is a vertical stretch. And we're going to get down in the football minutia at this point. But option football has been around. It's just kind of taking on a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing.
It's morphed.
It's just, it looks different now than getting in the wishbone. But Vince Young, he ran zone read type stuff when he was at Texas, and he was always reading the backside end. That's still just option football. We're just changing the way the chess pieces move around. And you hope that while Ponder's playing chess with their triple option, we're not stuck playing checkers. That's what Coach Freeze has done a really good job of getting us in a position to have the appropriate number of hats on the ball to where all of our assignments are always covered up.
Another question I had, you said this is the coach's second year.
Yeah.
They did not run this offense last year.
No.
They run what I would call the spread, for lack of a...
It was spreadish.
Spreadish.
Yeah.
What makes someone want to do a wholesale change like that?
Well, and I feel like I say something along these lines every week. This is no disrespect to the Ponder football program or the Ponder kids at all. They're doing a fantastic job. Coach Bowling's doing a fantastic job.
It wasn't working, I guess is where you're going.
It was working, but it also, why do service academies run option, or traditionally, why is Navy and Army, why have they stuck to being option teams?
My opinion is you need less athletes.
They're not going to go get a 5-star recruit that Bama's going to get.
Correct.
You're never, as a service academy, you're rarely going to out-recruit some of the bigger blue blood programs for guys that you need. And then it's hard for you to recruit against a North Texas or an SMU or any of those teams. And so you find a scheme that is going to slow down the game or speed up the game, I guess you could say. It's going to slow it down in the fact that you're going to, if you're effective with it, you're going to keep the opponent's offense off the field.
Does that go back to when you referenced earlier Boyd in the 14-0?
It really goes back to when I referenced the 71-0. Mm-hmm. I think even if we play awesome, great, spectacular football, it's going to be hard for us to score 71 points because I don't think we'll have the ball enough to do it. They run this scheme and they run it effectively to keep the ball away from the opponent's offense. You play keep away. And then next thing you know, you're playing a really good Boyd football team. You've had sustained success and you lose 14-0. But in some ways, you're kind of like, man, we're right there. And that's 2 plays. You can make up 14 points in 2 plays. So they were 2 plays away from beating Boyd. And a lot of that goes to the fact that they effectively run this scheme. And so I've never been in the Ponders coach's office. I've never had any conversations with them. But in my opinion, they went to this offense because they believe it will speed up the game, keep the ball out of the opponent's hands, and give them a chance to where they can win, and it's been effective.
What a bold and aggressive move for a coach to self-reflect, self-scout. I don't know, look at what he did last year and then completely undo everything and put it back together. You don't see that very often. Normally, whatever someone is, that's what they are, and that's what they stay.
Yeah, no, and the personality of a play caller and what they like to run and what they do usually is accompanied by a lot of confidence and a lot of belief in their system, which is good. I mean, I want somebody who believes in their system. But if the system isn't working or the system isn't the best thing for, the Ponder Lions roster, since that's who we're talking about, hats off to Coach Bowling for making the change and putting them in a position where you can't blow this team off. You can't at all. This is not we're playing Ponder this week. Gosh, we're going to get some kids in the game this week. We're going to get some backups, some reps. You can't have that thought at this point right now. It's a good football team. They're well coached. They play solid on the offensive side of the ball.
And then one more question regarding that. How difficult is it for your kids when you do a wholesale change like that? I mean, it seems like it's a credit to Ponder to grasp that as well as they have in such a short time. And you throw in COVID in the mix too. I mean, it's quite a move.
No, and hats off to the Ponder Line football team, the players for accepting a change to a scheme that it is not a sexy scheme at all. You're not going to put butts in seats because you run the triple option.
I would be there.
Well, you would be, and you'll be there on Friday night. You'll have the best seat in the house, and you can find Coach Bowling and tell him how awesome you think he is, and pick his brain all you want to. But it's hats off to them for accepting it and for saying, we were a spread team last year, and we're going to do this year, and they've bought in, and they have a product on the field that, in my opinion, the Ponder Lions can be proud of.
That's good. Good for Ponder. Hope it doesn't work out this week.
I mean, I'm all for them winning every game after we play them.
Exactly.
But, they do a good job, and they've done a solid job. Let's get a quick word from some of our sponsors, and we'll come back and talk Ponder's defense.
There is no better source for local news than the Pilot Point Post-Signal. Pilot Point Post-Signal has been covering Pilot Point since 1878, providing award-winning, top-notch coverage of Pilot Point and the Pilot Point Bearcats. You can start your subscription today by going to postsignal.com and signing up for their special, which is 2 months free of the digital and print copy, or you can call their phone number at 940-686-2169. The Pilot Point Post-Signal, the best source for local news. Since 1983, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency has been covering the insurance needs of Pilot Point. Regardless of what that need may be, they have you covered, offering homeowners, auto, life, farm and ranch, and commercial. Give them a call at 940-686-2692. That's Germania Insurance, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency, located just north of the town square at 211 Scott Lane in Pilot Point, Texas. Scott Walker Insurance Agency, always there to help.
We want to wish our varsity cheerleader, Abby, a great senior year. Love Mom, Dad, and Michael.
All right, we're back. In summary, I know we went kind of long because I got us off in a rabbit hole about the option offense. The two guys we really need to watch on offense when you're sitting by that guy in the bleachers and you elbow him in the ribs is 10 and 11.
Terrence Clark and Chase Taylor.
All right, that's the two they need to keep their eye on.
I'm so glad you paid attention this week.
I was cheating and looking on your notes,
That's
but
okay.
I was paying a little better attention.
Yeah.
So let's move on to when we have the ball and Ponder's on defense. What's that going to look like?
Well, we've seen two distinctly not different looks, but we've seen two very different looks. They're similar but different at the same time. So whenever they played City View early in the year, City View they're 4 or 5 wide receivers. They throw the ball all over the place. They're a true spread team. You got a 3-4, which we've seen that for a couple weeks now. 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and then you had a cover 4 shell with 2 high safeties. That's the only time we've seen that is against City View. Every other game, you get a 4-4 look, which is going to be 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. You have 2 linebackers that are in the middle, two outside linebackers. We refer to them as overhangs on the outside. And then your 4 down linemen, you have they shade a little bit differently on the inside. But they are trying to take away the run. So the personality that you're seeing from this Ponder team is they're going to run the football, and then they're going to try to take away the run. Okay, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to make you beat them through the air. So with this 4-4 cover 5, man, shocker, the guy to watch, number 10, Terence Clark. Plays free safety in the middle of the field. 2 years ago, I do believe he introduced himself to Max Holler up close and personal. Maybe his last year, I don't remember. But he's a good player. He's physical. He's fast. He will come and he will strike you in a hurry. And he's a good tackler. They use him a variety of ways. If you watch the first half of the Brock game, he's kind of a roaming kind of monster safety. About 7 yards off the ball, man, he is triggering and coming downhill, and he's just there's a body count behind him, and he does a great job. In the second half, after Brock had some success, they backed him off. So I would fully expect if I was picking what they were going to run against us, and kind of, I guess, the opinion of most of the coaching staffs, I bet we're going to get a 4-4 cover 5, which will be, they'll pack 8 in the box. We'll expand those overhangs based off of our formation. I think you're going to get 2 corners and get a free safety in the middle of the field, and that free safety is going to be number 10. And that's got to watch. If there's a big play that happens on defense, that's going to be the dude. Now, there's plenty of physical players on that Ponder team. They do a great job. You're going to look at them, and it's going to be undersized compared to what we've seen. Whitesboro, they had big old cat that was messing everything up. We talked about Paradise had number 71. Bowie had number 72, and you had a dominating defensive line presence. That guy, we haven't seen him yet. They make their money with quick kids that are more of read and react than to try to penetrate and punish. And so, it's one of those things where we're going to have to execute. Not to set the bar low. I don't want people to think, but I would imagine that there's going to be some plays sprinkled in there where we get stuffed just because of the style of defense they play. And that's okay. You expect that. Anybody who grew up playing Tecmo Bowl, man, you know that every once in a while somebody picks your play and they blitz right into it and you get nothing. There's going to be times when that happens where they just pick our play and, man, it's a great play by them. What we have to do a really good job of as coaches and as players is being able to say, hey, they got us that time. Now let's come back, let's regroup, and let's figure it out, and let's get a positive play. So as coaches, put our players in a position to succeed. And then when the players get there, they need to do what they're coached to do. And if both sides of that equation work, we can have plenty of success.
You all look like geniuses.
Yes.
We can talk about touchdown plays.
We can talk about touchdown plays, which is way more fun to talk about our touchdown plays. But, there's little things, and it was a perfect storm a week ago. We can keep a perfect storm from happening again by putting our kids in a position to be successful, and then the kids actually doing what they're coached to do. If you're supposed to go 5 steps and then make a cut, then go 5 steps and make a dead gum cut. Don't go 3, don't go 2. Do what you're coached to do. If you're supposed to run a 10-yard dig, don't round it off. Don't, run you a 10-yard dig and do what you're supposed to do. Do the things that you're supposed to do, and that's the way we're going to be successful against this defense because they're relentless. They're going to keep on coming, and they're physical. Number 10 will take somebody's head off at some point in the game. We just hope that the Bearcat, we can peel him up off the turf and we can get going again.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention again like last week. Do they blitz and stunt a lot or no?
They do.
Okay.
They'll mix it up. I think that my personal opinion, I hope they blitz. I don't think they are at their best when they are blitzing. I think they're at their best whenever they just say, hey, here's base vanilla defense, go play fast. That's whenever they scare me the most. But they're a good defensive football team.
Sounds good. Well, let's go to our last commercial break, and then when we come back, I'd like for you to draw out the playoff picture, if you will, and explain to me where we're at and what the future holds.
Yes, sir.
Pelzel Barbershop and Salon and Southern Junkies has been home of the Bearcats since 1973. Whether you are looking for a classic crew cut or the perfect game day outfit, we have you covered. We carry a few fan favorite brands including Hey Dude Shoes, Judy Blue Jeans, Z Supply Clothing, and Orleans Candle Company. Come check us out on the north side of the square in downtown Paula Point or online at www.southernjunkies.com, and that is junkies with a Z. And don't forget, go Bearcats!
Hi, I'm Greg Pelzel. Here at Pelzel Printing, we do custom embroidery, custom screen printing, and promotional product. You can reach Greg Pelzel at 940-453-5443. Go Bearcats.
Okay, we're back for this last segment. I just wanted to ask you about the playoffs. I know people are thinking, why are you talking about the playoffs? But they are approaching. Every week that goes by, we get closer. And I'd like for you to clear up that picture and tell us what we're looking at and what everybody in the district's looking at, for that matter.
Well, first off, we're talking playoffs because if there's a baseline measuring stick for a Pilot Point football season, that's the bottom rung. That's just the expectation, is that we're going to make the playoffs. Or not that we're going to, that we need to. And so that's why we're already talking playoffs, because it's important. So far through 4 district ball games, there is no one that is mathematically eliminated. Now, there's some that are likely eliminated. You have 0-4 Peaster, and I still think they have. I'm going to double check this real quick while I'm talking. I do believe that they still have to play Brock and Boyd. Yeah, they have Brock left on the schedule, and you're going to assume that that's a win for Brock. And sorry, Peaster. But they're not mathematically eliminated, but they're looking down the barrel of being mathematically eliminated. One more loss and they're out. But what you have at the top, you have a 4-0 Boyd and a 4-0 Brock. Okay, they play this week. So somebody's going to be 5-0, somebody's going to be 4-1.
The thing that registers in my head when you say that is that's also 2 teams that are still on our schedule. That's a positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't played them.
Well, we would need assistance to win a district championship right now, just because we already have 1 loss. Mm-hmm. But it's still doable because the 2 teams that are above us, we still play them. So, we could talk all these different scenarios, but what has to happen is, A, we have to win out to win a district championship, and then we need help along the way to get one of those guys to 1 loss to where we have head-to-head tiebreak. It's strange.
To go back to how you opened, let's start with the bottom rung. Let's get to the playoffs.
Win.
Obviously.
Win Friday.
Okay.
4 is the magic number.
That's where I was fishing for. So 4 is the magic number.
4 is the magic number. And so we're 3-1, sitting in 3rd place right now. Ponder is already in the playoffs, meaning they are in the playoffs right now. They have to keep winning to stay alive. The playoffs have already started for them. They're on a 1-game season going forward. So right behind us in the district rankings is Whitesboro. However, they do have the head-to-head on us. So if we do get in a tie situation with a Whitesboro where they have 2 losses, say for whatever reason they end up 5-2 and we end up 5-2 in district, they have head-to-head on us. So we don't want to get in a situation where we're tied with Whitesboro because we are the automatic loser in that situation. Paradise, Ponder, and Bowie are all 1-3, which means they are all on 1-game seasons right now. It would have to get really, really murky for those guys to get in because of already having 3 district losses.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing is, of course, if we keep winning, we make the playoffs. But this game on Friday is equally important for us and Ponder. They have to win it to stay alive. We have to win it to start the process of clinching a playoff berth. In doing our best to try to get the seed up as high as we can. Obviously right now being behind the 8 ball, if we take a misstep at any place along the way, it's going to hurt us because we'll go to 2 losses instead of 1, and Whitesboro has the tiebreak. But right now we're in control of our own destiny as far as qualifying for the playoffs, and then to win a district championship, we need help. And so we can solve it all if we just win.
That solves everything.
Yeah,
Always
and
does.
Here's the thing: is if we win out, okay, Boyd or Brock, somebody has to lose on Friday night. So you already have one of those having one loss. If we were to beat them, then that would give them 2 district losses. So say we get to the end of the road and we are 5-1. We just beat Boyd. They're 5-1, and then, well, they'd be 5-2 because they would have to beat Brock. It gets weird.
Yeah, the main thing I wanted out of this was playoff picture. We'll start sorting the rest of it out as we move forward.
As we go.
Let's hit that bottom rung first.
Yeah, but right now it's beat Ponder, and we're in a good shape for making the postseason.
Okay.
Now, for those that are out there that don't understand the way seeding works, we're going to send 4 teams to the playoff. The district to our west sends 4 teams to the playoffs. Our first place team plays their 4th place team. Okay, our second plays their third, our third plays their second, our 4th plays their first. We want to be as far away from 4th as we can possibly get, just because you don't want to play that first place team if you can avoid it.
And the state rankings came out this week. I haven't looked at them yet, but the top 2 teams in that district were both ranked in the top 10 in state.
Yeah, it's 2 good football teams over there.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse and start talking about them, but the main point is we want to try like crazy to get out of 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
Just because it's an easier bracket down the line, and gosh, we could have a whole 40-minute show on just bracketology.
We will.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. But the main thing is that we're just trying to do our best, put our best foot forward, go out there and take care of business against Ponder, and then